How's it going? What we wanted to do here was give you a broad overview of different optic choices that you may or may not want to bring to the carbine class this February. So starting from the right here, we have what is called a low-powered variable optic, LPVO. What this is a multi-magnification optic that at its lowest setting is 1 power. So what does that mean? It means if I were to go for a quick sight acquisition, when I look through this tube, I am seeing a 1-to-1 image with a reticle that is my sight alignment and sight picture. So it's very quick for sight acquisition and quick shooting. However, if I were to turn it, in this case on this particular one, 6 power, when I come up, I'm able to get a more precise shot with more magnification for longer distance shots. So this is kind of a jack of all trades, master of none optic, and a lot of people really like them because they fulfill a multi-role position. It could be similar to a designated marksman DMR type rifle, or it could be quick, almost as quick as a red dot rifle. So this is a very solid option. A lot of competitive shooters are going to these, and it's something worth your consideration. Another option is the red dot. This is a very commonly used optic. It is very quick for sight acquisition, and it consists of usually a small dot within the tube here. The benefits are you get a very good wide range of view, you get quick sight acquisition, and if you're slightly off center, wherever that dot is placed is where the round is supposed to go. Some of the drawbacks of a red dot is there is no magnification. So for longer distances, you have to work on your holds. And then with both optics, you need to be aware of height over bore. So as you can see, the barrel is about 2.5 inches lower than the center of the optic. So when you're doing close-in shots, depending on where you're zeroed at, the round is not going to make it up to that optic line of sight. And at close distances, you're going to be shooting below where you see. So that's something we're going to discuss in the course and be able to compensate for. Another option, I don't have one on the table here, is a magnifier for the red dot. So you place a magnifier behind the red dot. They usually come on some type of mechanical device that allows the optic to, or the magnifier to fold out and back in via a rotating mechanism. They usually lock tight and then you release a button to move it away. So if you need the close shooting, you get the red dot, and then if you need to make a longer distance shot, you come over, latch the magnifier over, and you have generally like a 3 or 6 powered magnified optic behind the red dot. This is another example of a red dot. This is the Aimpoint Micro T2, whereas this is the Trijicon MRO. They both are functionally similar, just different, slightly different designs. I don't have a rifle scope on a carbine, but I wanted to show the concept of a rifle scope. These are generally used for more precision shots. So what do I mean by precision? Well, generally carbines are what we call a combat effective zero. So that means that when we go out with a carbine, we have it sighted in for a certain distance, and between point-to-point contact, between close distance and between approximately 300 yards, what you see is what you hit for a combat effective hit. Now with rifle scopes, these are generally meant for more precision shots. So if you put this on a carbine, it's usually meant more for either varmint hunting or designated marksman rifles, so DMR type rifles, if you're like with a unit that has a designated sniper. So it may not be optimal or practical to bring this to our particular carbine course, but for full breadth, I wanted to show the scope option. Another option is multi-optic systems. So in this particular case, this is a Trijicon ACOG with a Trijicon RMR reflex red dot sight. So what we have here is kind of a hybrid of the LPVO and the red dot, just utilizing 2 different optics. So in this case, I have a fixed 4-power magnification on the ACOG. So when I come up, I've got 4 times power with a reticle that doesn't require batteries. And then if I need quicker reflexive shots at 35 degrees, I come up and I have a red dot. So all I need to do is cant the rifle 35 degrees to get magnification or to get quick red dot access. So that's another thing to consider. The idea here is to give you a selection before you come to the course if you have not already made your selection. If you've already made your selection, then maybe you potentially see the pros and cons of each type of optic so that you know what you want to run and how you want to run it when you come to our course. Because each of these optics may require a different zero distance. As an example, some of the LPVOs have bullet drop compensators in them, BDCs, and those are reticles that account for the drop of a bullet. If, for example, the Burris TAC 30 with the CQC reticle in there is with a 55 grain round is meant to be sighted in at 100 yards, whereas in general, it seems that most people sight in their red dot optic around 50 yards because that gives you what we said, that combat effective 0. So make sure you understand your optic. If you already have one, read the instructions manual, look at your bullet drop compensator if you have one, and you understand what 0 distance you would like to show up with so that we can get you effective and on target immediately once we get the class started. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We can answer all your needs and make sure that we got you set up for the course.